This is a follow-up episode on yesterday conversation with Silvio Micali on Algorand, blockchain, and decentralized economics and finance. I want to focus on two things. One is power, and the other is how to organize, how to actually run a protocol. What are the big questions here? This is the Not Even Wrong podcast. It's April 9th, 2021. This is Krim Delco for the day. The fund is down 1.6%. The market is up 60 basis points. We are down 4% for the year. The market's up 9%. We're underperforming by 13%. Yesterday's conversation went, I think, pretty well in terms of understanding what Algorand is trying to tackle. Just for recap, for those who haven't heard yesterday's episode, I encourage to listen to yesterday's episode. But let me just recap real quickly. Algorand is a blockchain protocol trying to solve the trilemma of blockchain technology, which is decentralization, security, and scalability. In other words, how can we make it efficient, fast, low cost, secure, and decentralized? Those are the problems that people are trying to solve those problems in Bitcoin. They're trying to solve those problems in Ethereum, in many other protocols. But on the Algorand side, I think what's really unique here is, first of all, the company which is trying to propel this protocol into the world is founded by a double Nobel Prize winning person, i.e. He won the Turing Award for comp sci, and he won the Gödel Prize for math, so two Nobel Prizes basically. Silvio Micali is, I think, a little bit different. He's not a 20-something in my garage trying to change the world kind of guy. He is very nice person. I think he's the kind of person you want to have a glass of wine and really should chat about art, society, and business and economics and finance and math. He's that kind of polymath. Maybe in the tradition of people like Da Vinci and so on and so forth. I don't want to go there. He's Italian, and of course the analogies are there. He's elegant. He's eloquent. The Italians invented accounting, and the Italians invented a lot of the modern finance system. So I can see where the analogies could be going, but I don't want to go there necessarily. Here's what I want to talk about in particular. First of all, power. The one thing I've learned in the last couple of days while talking to Silvio, while listening, let's say, also to Peter Thiel's comments on Bitcoin, by listening to a lot of Bitcoiners, reading a lot of stuff around Bitcoin and blockchain, I think there's two aspects here that maybe we're not looking at that closely. Number one, this is first and foremost about power. Like everything else in life, some people want to get more of the pie than others. Now, it's not a zero-sum game. I think blockchain technology is adding lots of value, opening up lots of economics for lots of people. But in the end, there is a certain group of people that wants power from another group of people. In this case, the Bitcoiners want the power from the establishment, i.e. the Fed, Washington, and Wall Street. This is not negotiable. I'm 100% sure. And I think Silvio Micali kind of falls in between here because he has a very elegant solution. In fact, if you really work on Algorand a little bit, you will realize that Algorand is, why isn't everybody using Algorand? It's orders of magnitude cheaper, faster, more secure. You have a lot more security around the system. It's run by adults, real people, PhDs, Turing Prize winning mathematicians. They probably thought about this a little deeper than the Bitcoin guys and the Ethereum guys. Nevertheless, Ethereum, for example, dominates smart contract blockchains. It dominates decentralized exchanges. And the problem there, it's very expensive to do business on these things. So why isn't Algorand winning? Why isn't Algorand winning in the NFT space where, according to Silvio, you can do an NFT for like 2 orders of magnitude less than in the Ethereum blockchain? Nevertheless, Ethereum and NFT are almost mentioned in the same sentence. So there is, I think it's power. It's also not always the best technology wins. And that's what's going on here. So I think when we analyze this blockchain technology, and now we're going forward also investing in blockchain technology, we have to be very cognizant that it's not necessarily the best technology. It's not the best people. It is also about power. Who has more power? Now, we at Orange Capital Partners believe in fundamentally new concepts and engineering practices in terms of lowering the cost for everybody, democratizing a space, and therefore winning in the marketplace. So we solve the power question by saying whoever has the lowest cost will win. So that power equals lower cost. Power equals lower cost of iteration. Power equals more iteration. Power equals disruption. Disruption equals power. So these are sort of the equations that we believe in at Orange Capital Partners. That's why we started investing in Algorand, in the Algorand currency, the algo, and we will continue investing in ETH and algo. So here's the idea: we're going to start managing our cash by putting putting our cash in ETH and algo, and then borrowing against that in dollars to cover our expenses. This is basically how we. So we have all our funds are invested in Orange Capital Partners, but we're going to manage our cash, our expenses, basically by having two coins, algo and ETH, and then borrow against that to cover our expenses. This is the strategy so far. I think, like I mentioned yesterday, there is a potential to raise a small fund and use this as a seed investor meant to start investing into ETH and algo, and maybe also other currencies that are supported by interesting blockchain protocols. The second thing I want to talk about is the fact that Silvio mentioned he wants Algorand to be a self-organizing entity. Now, I wasn't able to clarify exactly what that means, but I think in general, what he's trying to say is that a decentralized protocol should also be run in a decentralized way. So he's taking the decentralization to the next level. And that's very interesting. For example, when I spoke with GitLab's CEO, I forgot his name, the Dutch gentleman, he kind of, GitLab is a decentralized company that runs open source technology. And GitLab is, just for those who don't know, there's GitHub and GitLab. GitHub is sort of a central depository for decentralized open source development, and GitLab is kind of the other way around. It's a decentralized organization that helps people run centralized development. So in other words, while GitHub helps people run open source projects, GitLab helps people run, let's say, enterprise software, but it's organized. GitLab is managed in a decentralized way. So anyway, so in there, I felt like it's decentralized, but it's still, there are leaders, there's a CEO, there is very clear command and lines and all that. It's very like top down, but decentralized. In a way, I thought this is the only way you can run a decentralized organization, by being very clear about the rules, and then let sort of let the tree grow, to use Reed Hastings' analogy. Also, Reed Hastings at Netflix, he's kind of saying, he's talking about context, but he's very clear about sort of the framework within which the people at Netflix should evolve. Now, I'm not sure exactly what Algorand is trying to achieve, but here are some fundamental questions. So you have a system like Bitcoin, which is run by pretty much everybody, but there is an unknown entity called Satoshi Nakamoto with his white paper and his writings, who is sort of the religious leader. So this is, I would say, Jesus. Then we have Ethereum. Ethereum is, I would say, the next level. It's kind of like Milton Friedman and the free economy, Vitaly Buterin being Milton Friedman. So there is a certain concept, there's a certain idea, there's a certain fundamental thesis around Ethereum, and then there are people believing in that, but there's also a leader that people associate with, and the leader is visible. Now, I'm not sure in what form Algorand comes in. It looks to me that Silvio is trying to be kind of not Jesus, but also not Milton Friedman. But here's some of the fundamental questions that I think are important. For example, there was a big hack in 2017 in the Ethereum blockchain that I think took away 10 to 15% of ETH. And the Ethereum consortium under Vitaly Buterin decided to bail out that hack and therefore reimburse people with the ETH that was lost. And what that did, of course, this is according to the Bitcoin maximizers, this is of course bad for Ethereum, because it shows that it's a malleable, adaptable system, in a sense that it could also break its own rules, and that's dangerous, because at Bitcoin that would not be possible. What's lost, it's lost. Code is king, code is law, all that stuff. On the one hand, Bitcoin, I think, therefore has this, I would say, Jesus-like quality of being universally applicable over thousands of years. It's not going to change the same way the church didn't change. And Ethereum is much more like capitalism, where there is a certain underlying rules and laws, but it's malleable. You can bail people out. You can help you can avoid bloodshed. You can that's not possible. And the Catholic Church fought years and years of wars to colonize. They did not budge on their premise of whatever they wanted to achieve. And Bitcoin is a bit like that. And Ethereum is a bit like capitalism in the sense that it's malleable. I don't know where Algorand fits in. Is Algorand trying to be sort of the next level of capitalism, where everything evolves with even the rules evolve with the incentive structure of the protocol, and there's sort of a bidirectional fertilization? I'm not sure, but I think it's an interesting question. And this is to finish this episode. I think the most important thing about this whole exercise of working on blockchain technology is that it brings up all these interesting questions. What is actually a society that we want to live in? How should we make decisions? How should we find consensus? All these questions are now being put out in the open, put out in front of us to answer. We don't have most of the answers, and we're saying, let's find algorithms and networks and blockchain technologies that can help us find this answer. So should we bail out people? Let's say if Algorand gets hacked, what should we do with that? And I tried to ask Silvio Micali this, but he wasn't able to answer that. I don't think he has thought about this as deeply, and he's of course he has algorithmic solutions for some of the problems. And if you read the white papers around Algorand, you will find solutions the same way in the Ethereum blockchain. There are lots of solutions for problems, but then there is always, where does the buck actually stop? The buck at Bitcoin stops with Satoshi Nakamoto and his white paper. That's it. So the Satoshi Nakamoto white paper is the Bible. The Ethereum blockchain protocol is based on, I would say it's a bit like Milton Friedman. There's an idea. It's an idea. It's not, there's no right. You can't be hardcore or orthodox conservative in Ethereum, nor can you be hardcore orthodox conservative at Algorand. I think to finish this episode, what we're going to see is a competition of protocols. We believe that Algorand has a lot of potential to become the underlying blockchain technology for the banking system, in particular the plumbing of the banking system, and therefore is very interesting as a standalone company or as an acquisition target. We believe Ethereum has a chance to become a bit like the underlying contract law protocol, and Bitcoin will become the gold, the digital gold of the future. Thank you.